Of course, you're here with Jim Mickle's brilliant Cold in July.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. Has anyone seen it here? Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's great. So if you've seen it, you know that Dawn has one of the great entrances of the year, cinematically. I've read several interviews with you where you said that you were reading a script and by page 10 or 11 you didn't really know where it was going to go, which was one of the reasons why you wanted to do it. But by page 10 or 11, Jim Bob, your character, hadn't even appeared. So
well,
are you not one of those actors who then flicks through the script looking for when you show up? Or?
Well, not on this one, oddly enough. I mean, I have had scripts that are sent to me where I go, I don't know, let me just see what the fuck this is here. But this one, I, for some odd reason, I read it cover to cover. and as you say, I got in the middle of it, and I feel weird with these on. I'm going to take these off. Don't be horrified, okay? This is not a horror movie. I just want to. Apparently, you didn't get a lot of sleep either. So we, I was reading through it, and I was astounded by how well written it was, number one, and how it had different tempos and different rhythms and different structure, and how it shape-shifted from seemingly one genre to the next, and then to the next, and I went, okay, well. Sure, you can put it on the page. Now let me meet that son of a bitch that's going to translate it to film. And I did. I was pleasantly surprised when I met with Jim Mickle. And you know, when you've been in the business as long as I have, you pick up some handy shortcuts. You know, questions to ask directors to find out if they're just full of shit or if they know what they're doing. You know. And I found out in short order that Jim had this amazing confidence about being able to kinetically present these different genres. And I referenced a couple of films to him. He knew what I was talking about. That's a good sign. And then he referenced a couple to me. I knew what he was talking about. That's a good sign. So now you got communication going, okay? And so it became clear to me that he had film sense, and that if he could do 75% of what he was attempting to do and what I read, I knew I could deliver my part. And luckily enough, we were able to get Sam Shepard involved, and Michael C. Hall was already there, and then away we went. The chemistry took over, and Jim delivered not 75 but 175%. And I'm proud of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but on the page when you read it for the first time, and Jim Bob screeches up in a car with red bitch as the number plate. Does that immediately right there tell you what this character is, or do you have a sense of that character right away?
Well, it certainly gives you a clue. Oh, I get it. This guy is a shit kicker from Texas. It was a clue. The best clue that I got was from the author of the book, Joe Lansdale, who allowed to me that Jim Bob, the way that he's always written him, and he's included in several books, in several of the other series of books that Joe Lansdale writes. He said, Jim Bob is a guy who never met a problem he couldn't solve and wouldn't know a problem if he actually met one. So I found that to be a fantastic foundation to build a character on, and I said, damn, that's an optimistic bastard there. Let's go.
But was there a moment when it really just hit you and really changed everything?
In the second season, I told this story the other day in the Times, so I can tell you.
Okay. It's not exclusive, but fair enough.
Well, it'll be exclusive to the web audience for sure. We were in New York, and we were a big hit by then. We were in New York shooting the second season of the 2-hour opener for Miami Vice in the second season. We were shooting a scene where Tubbs and Crocket are chasing a couple of bad guys down the street on Wall Street. And we went out the first time, set it all up, and I looked up in the windows, and there were all these secretaries, plastered up against the windows and stuff like that. And so we rehearsed it once, and we hear, "Ah!" from the windows. I mean, just this wall of sound, and it's 60 stories up, and there's just, the chase was 2 blocks. So it was 2 blocks of windows and secretaries screaming at us. And fortunately, it's a chase scene, so there's no sound. But I just thought it was kind of funny. So when we actually roll the film, and the director says action, Paul Michael Glaser was directing that episode. He says action, we take off running down the street, and during this time through, the sky started raining panties. Thousands of them. Some woman at the very beginning threw her panties out the window, and everybody else for the 2-block run threw their panties out the window, and the street was filled with knickers. I mean, filled with ladies' knickers. And it was one of the most hilarious and surreal things that I'd ever been through in my life. And the really funny part was watching all the production assistants go around after picking up the panties. See, then they got a basket and they were picking up panties, putting them in so that we could shoot again. Isn't that amazing?
That almost never happens to me.
It's only happened to me once. It's weird.
Just once.
Yeah.
That's all you want.
Well,
A second time,
it's happened to other times, but it's a different story. Dennis was really interesting. He was sober. And I think he actually was sober because he behaved like a dry drunk. He was passive aggressive and had virtually had no communication with him. One day I went up to him and I said, Dennis, what do you think about I was feeling such and such and such and such for the scene, and I was talking about a scene with Jennifer Connelly and and I was thinking that maybe we would do this, maybe we'd do that, and does that feel right to you? And he went, Don, William Burroughs was a heroin addict for 20 years, but he got up every morning and shaved. Okay. I went back and did the scene. That was the extent of the direction I got from Dennis Hopper.